YouTube fan, what's good? Welcome back to my channel. I go by the name of Graph. This is, I think, my 6th video we are creating on a consistent basis. This is actually my 2nd time filming this because the first time I filmed it, it was all vertical. And I was like, nah, I'm posting it. I'm gonna post a vertical video, but then I was like, nah, let me just refilm it. It doesn't feel like it's scripted in a sense because I'm doing it a couple days later. Kind of forgot what I said. I didn't rewatch what I said. So it's still gonna feel organic and not feel more rehearsed, because when you do something a 2nd time in a row, sometimes it'll feel a little bit more rehearsed because you kind of remember what you said. But I was like, let me give it a couple days and create this video again. Make sure you subscribe, you like. I appreciate all my new followers. We are almost at 100. I'm super excited. We are growing, and it's just cool, you know, to see myself growing from scratch. And I just want to keep seeing me build more followers, build more of a foundation, and let you guys just continue on this journey with me. So for this video, it's not going to be a vlog, obviously. A lot of times I kind of want to just do videos where it's talking about a particular subject. I don't want to always do a vlog style because the point of my YouTube is to educate sometimes and to also be inspired. So this video is more of an education on tools that I learned to be a successful artist, a creative. That could be any field. So I'm gonna give tools that I've learned throughout my journey. And again, it doesn't matter the field you're in. I feel like this applies to anybody who's inspiring to become something and they need something to just remotivate them, or need words to hear to remind them on what they need to do to become successful. So the first thing I want to talk about is your identity. Obviously, that's important. You want to know, you want to have your own identity. Now, when I talk about identity, I'm not only talking about your logo, your colors, the branding aspect of it, but more so just identity as a person. Like if someone sees something as a creative, they're like, oh, that's definitely John's work. That's definitely his mark. So like I used to follow this artist back in the day. He goes by the name of Natural, I believe that's how you pronounce it. He inspired me to do the style that I do now. I remember I went to a J. Cole concert and Big Sean opened up for him. I was super inspired because I've been following J. Cole for years before he became where he was at that point in time. This is when he dropped Forest Hills. And I went to the concert and I was super inspired when I got home. So at the time, Natural was like killing Instagram. He was in his prime in my opinion. He was killing it. He's still doing his thing, but he was killing it. He was going viral with his art, and I saw it and I was like, wow, I wonder if I can kind of like imitate this just to see if I'm actually good at this digital art world. Because at the time I kind of was questioning how good I was and where I laid in that world. I kind of did his style, but I did Big Sean because I just saw Big Sean perform. So I did Big Sean and I was like, yo, I kind of killed this. Like it looked really good. It looked similar, but not like too similar. But after that, I just kept practicing. I kept doing it. And I got to a point where I got really good at it. And then I was like, you know what if I put words around the subject so I can kind of defer my work from his. So I started to put words around my subject and started to fill in empty spaces because I never really liked artwork that had empty spots. I feel like it was boring and plain. I want to kind of fill up the artwork, fill up the canvas with everything that I can to keep it busy. Even though you're still looking at the main subject, I want everything around it to be filled in with a manual typography. And once I learned that kind of became my thing. And I think as of today, that's more my style than the actual art. It's more so the words around the subject and the style that I do it. I don't even use triangles no more. I don't use polygons. I use more like just any type of shape that kind of goes with the flow. So to make a long story short, I was inspired by an artist. I imitated the artist, then I tweaked it, made it my own, and now I have my own identity. So I think it's important for any creator, a music artist, anybody, even with beats, you hear beats, you know when you hear that beat, you know that that's that person who created it. You want to have your own identity. It's super important, and that's when you kind of separate yourself from the others. Second thing is super important is research. I think a lot of people kind of forget this one. Research is like really important when you're trying to learn more about your craft. One of my favorite artists, Ernie Barnes, that I just love his work. He's the one who did the Good Times artwork. The only reason why I know of his artwork is because I started doing a lot of research when I was looking to get inspired by other artists. I started doing a lot of research and I found him, and I kind of found why he did certain pieces, what made him create the way he created his pieces. And I was like, this inspired me to really not just, now that I have my identity, this inspired me to be like, okay, what subject do I want my art to be? What do I want to base it around? Why am I creating this piece? So the researching created a way for me to learn about artists before me and artists that are currently trending now. I think that's also important to see what's going on now. You don't want to be outdated with your work. You don't want to be left in the dust. You kind of don't want to keep up with the Joneses, but you also want to know what's going on so you can kind of tweak certain things to get those people's attention, to get yourself at least not looking outdated. Research is definitely important for those who are taking their craft serious and knowing who came before you and knowing who's killing it at the moment. Third tool is routine. I feel like that's a bread and butter to become successful. If you have a routine, you stick to it, there's no way that you should not climb the ladder. If you do the same thing every day and you learn it and you master it, you will never become perfect at it. A routine will create a habit. And once you have that habit and you know how to do it in your sleep, it's nothing. It's easy because you've been practicing this for years. You've been doing this routine, and I just feel like a routine is just important, even in working out, music, art, being a chef, or whatever you want to do in the creative field. A routine is super important because without a routine, you're kind of just going with the flow and you're never going to accomplish anything and climb the ladder because you really don't know what your goals are. With a routine, you gradually get to see like the difference from when you first started to when you are now. So make sure y'all create that routine. It's really, really important. The fourth tool is patience. Patience, you gotta learn patience because sometimes it could take years and years and years to become successful. If you're doing a routine for 4 or 5 years, some people may be like, I'm done with this, this ain't working out, I'm not doing this no more, I'm getting better, but nothing's working, nothing's catching on, so I feel like I'm done, I'm giving up. But patience is key. I've been doing my art for about 10 plus years now, and I have big goals that I never accomplished yet, and I'm not giving up on them ever because patience is key. I may not get in until I'm 50, 60 years old, but that's okay because eventually I'm gonna get what I dream of getting and what my goals are. And patience is super important. It's hard as hell, but it's super important to have patience when you're in the creative field because there's a million people doing what you do, and sometimes it's a little bit of luck and a little bit of the right timing. And once you have your identity, your routine, and your research down pat, all you need is that patience to keep you going. Fifth thing is similar to routine, but it's practice. You want to practice every day, every morning, every night. Even when you're not actually practicing, you want to think about how you're going to practice something. Practice is important. Obviously, the more you practice, the better you get at something. I feel like in today's world, a lot of people don't do enough practice. They just kind of just go with the flow and go off the whim. Even me, sometimes that, because I'm not the best drawer in the world. My drawings is more, I kind of flex it better when I get it on a digital pad because I can really like get into it with a straighter line, or if I'm painting, I use my technique to get it better. But when I'm just drawing, I'm not the best drawer in the world, but for me, I have to keep drawing to just make sure I'm not losing that touch, because there's been times when I haven't drew something on a sketch pad for a couple months, and when I get back to it, I'm kind of rusty. You want to practice because that's going to keep everything intact. That's going to keep your level up high, and that's going to separate you from everybody because there's a lot of people not doing that, and you want to make sure that you separate. You feel me? Last but not least, this tool is sacrifice. I remember one time when I first started doing my art and I learned my style and I was practicing with it, there was this Tupac competition going around. It was an art Tupac competition. Tupac Estate was having a competition for artists to create something, and they were going to show it on their Instagram. At the time, it was a big thing, and I was like, you know what? I want to be in this contest. I don't really like contests, but I was like, let me just do this contest because I would love for my piece to get shared. So that night, I got hit up to go out. At the time, I was living in Astoria, New York, and there was a lot of like bars around me, and there was this club next to me called Don Coquille. And all my cousins and friends went out that night, and they went there, and they would hit me up like, yo, we out, you coming through? And for the first time, I was like, nah, I'm not. Like, let me finish this art piece because I feel like I'm getting somewhere with it. And I did the art piece that night, and it was the best piece I ever created at that time. It came out so good. To this day, it's one of my favorite pieces. It's like a Tupac piece with like flowers falling down. And that kind of led me to a lot of commission work. That led me to a lot of work with clients, like bigger clients. And I got some deals off that. And if I would have went out that night and then sacrificed my time, I probably would have never got none of those clients. I would have never got those collabs, and I probably would have never created that piece. So the point of the story is there's gonna be times when you're gonna have to sacrifice as far as not going out, staying at home, researching, practicing, following your routine, trying to create an identity. You feel me? You see what I did there? That is important. You want to sacrifice those things sometimes as far as the fun you want to have so you can have fun later, you know, because once you get everything down pat and you master everything and you getting deals and things are working out and everybody wants to work with you in whatever field you're in, then you can have a little time where you can have fun and do something once in a blue. But sacrificing is super important. I hear stories of like LeBron James and like athletes who wake up early in the morning, work out, go home, eat breakfast, go back to another workout, and this is on the off season, go back to another workout, go home and eat lunch, and then rehab at night. Like their entire day is working for the season that's coming up. They're sacrificing time with their families, away from their families during the season, and also in the off season. That's a sacrifice, and sometimes those are the things you have to do if you want to be great. Sacrifice is super important, and you want to make sure that you sacrifice the right things to get where you want to be. So that's all I have right now. I hope this video was a little bit helpful. So that's all I have right now. I hope this video was a little bit helpful for those who are looking for tools to be motivated, to be more successful, and to just hear things that may help them out in the long run. Just remember, it's never too late to become great. It's never too late to do what you want to do. You just have to really put 110% into it and take it serious. And if you follow some of these tools, this will help you get to that level. If you're still here and you're still watching this video, I appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one. All right.